So they're trying to break ground on a whites-only community in Springfield, Missouri, as early as this year. Not literally in Springfield, Missouri, but adjacent. And they hope that they can build one of these cities in every state in the Union. It's called the Return to the Land Initiative. And my brain keeps breaking every time I say return to the land out loud. Because there's nothing about white people that screams return to the land. White people can barely go camping without crying. I'm trying to understand the whole return to the land sentiment there, because it sounds eerily similar to return the land or land back for indigenous people. And after that Jubilee episode recently with that one white guy saying that white people are Native Americans, and he truly believed it and people clapped for him, I'd like to see them build this white city. But I would like them to not use any inventions made by any person of color or any immigrant. Like literally everything. Even down to the types of pets that they're allowed to have, actually. Because we don't want any immigrant pets. They have to be from America only. It's just bothersome to me, as a person who is white, to see other white people be so fucking stupid. And the fact that they think that they can actually put one in every state. It's mind-boggling to me. At this point, I'm just starting to feel like any person who is not cis, straight, heterosexual, white, or male, it can't be all of those categories. I think we should just leave. Everyone just fucking pick up, give up, and leave. And let them see how horrible it actually would be. This can't be my reality.
So a whites-only town is being built right now in America. By choice, by design, and with plans to expand. It's called Return to the Land. And their goal is to build a network of all-white, Christian-only communities starting in Arkansas and now eyeing Missouri. This group has already bought over 150 acres of land in rural Arkansas. They've bought homes, schools, churches, and they're only accepting members who are white, straight, Christian, and of European descent. Jews, Muslims, Black people, LGBTQ individuals, completely banned from joining. Their founder openly says, you want a white nation? Build a white town. Return to the Land calls itself a private membership association, which they believe allows them to legally discriminate in who gets to live on their land. Now, legal experts, of course, and civil rights groups have said this doesn't protect from their fair housing laws that make this kind of exclusion illegal. They're framing this as freedom and tradition, but in reality, it's a modern version of segregation. The NAACP, Anti-Defamation League, and even the Arkansas Attorney General are pushing back, calling for investigations and warning that this is a blatant racial and religious discrimination. Still, the group is gaining attention and more people are applying to join. Now, this isn't a story from the 1950s. It's happening right now in America, 2025. A self-declared whites-only town is being built in the open with plans to expand across the country. Silence is really not an option here. Racism wrapped in patriotism is still racism. Just as if I would tell Black people making comments about white people in a whole would still be considered racism. And then not even to mention, this is going to be the most unseasoned food of a community that you've ever been to. Good Lord, who would want to go and eat and live there? Not I. Give me my seasonings and my culturals of people.
So they're doing a whites-only community in Arkansas and the fucking Ozarks. A whites-only community in Arkansas. This is where we're at in America today. Like, what the fuck do you mean you don't want to be around people that look like me? Us brown people are fucking cool as hell. Positive vibes, good food, beautiful people. Like, what the fuck do you mean you guys want to live in a whites-only community in fucking America in the year 2025? What had to happen in your childhood or growing up that as adults you guys decided you guys want to live in a whites-only community? Doesn't that sound fucking stupid? How racist do you have to be to want to live in a whites-only community? I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but even if I was white, that sounds lame as fuck. Like, I would never want to do some shit like that. That sounds fucking boring.
Hello, awesome people. Welcome back to the channel. So, listen, this story is wild. There is a group of white folks who tried to build a white-only town. Yes, in 2025, they still think this makes sense. But here is the twist. The people dragging them the most, not black folks. No, that's not black folks. It's other white people who are like, nah, this ain't it. And the drama, shoo, it's messy. Let's talk about it. Let's kindly watch these clips. All credits to the owners. We come back with more commentary.
A whites-only community could be coming to Missouri in 2025, and yes, you are hearing me correctly. An actual group called Return to the Land is trying to build a segregated whites-only town near Springfield, Missouri. And this isn't parody, and this is not satire. This is happening in America right now. The founder says that they want to return to their roots. But come on, guys, let's be real. This isn't about heritage. This is about hate. This is about building a safe space for white supremacy under the guise of community. And what's even more disturbing, these people feel so fucking emboldened these days that they're not even hiding it anymore. They're openly promoting racial segregation like it's normal, like this country didn't literally fight an actual civil war to end this bullshit. This is what happens when politicians feed the lie that diversity is the problem. This is what happens when you have people in power pushing the idea that America was better when it was whiter. They want to isolate, they want to indoctrinate, they want to raise their kids in a world where no one challenges their racism, their ignorance, or their twisted version of history. So, here's the question. How in the hell are we letting this happen in broad daylight? Where are the zoning boards? Where are the civil rights investigations? And where is the national outrage? Because if they succeed here, this won't be the last. It'll literally be the blueprint. We are watching the normalization of white nationalism one community at a time. And if you're not disturbed by that, you're either racist yourself or you're just not paying attention.
My name's Nikki, N-I-K-I, I'm 32. I'm a lady.
This is Return to the Land, a group of millennials who organised online to build something radical and controversial. A town for white people only, that they insist is completely legal. We spent several days with them, watching as the men set about the physical labour of building out the site. All the while, the women of the group took on the more typically trad, homesteading type roles.
I guess I found the people through Twitter that ended up starting this project, actually spearheading it, and I went out to the first April event last year, and it was really fun.
The sort of white-only aspect of this, how important is that to you guys?
Given the premise that it's something that is kind of off limits for whites but is okay by implication for other groups, I do feel it's necessary to carve that out, and you kind of have to do it yourself.
It's kind of like if we don't do this, the laws are only getting worse as far as freedom of association goes, so it's kind of like we have to do this, or there might come a time where it's not possible to.
Are you guys aware sort of people are going to be watching, it's going to be controversial?
I think people just have a large misunderstanding of what's happening here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the biggest misunderstanding?
Well, that we hate everyone else. Like,
yeah,
it's not
about
that.
Yeah,
by any means.
It's a loving movement.
I mean, on that aspect of it being loving, I suppose the counter argument would be it could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, or if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do, and I think that's great for them. And it's like, if other people are allowed to do it, I don't really see why whites aren't allowed to do it. It doesn't make any sense. So it's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
The leader, Eric Orwell, wants the community to grow, and further what he calls traditional white American culture. And the group is explicit about this. It has an online fundraiser to give cash rewards to parents of newborns as a means to incentivise population growth. Just before we arrived, they donated $1,000 to a family for having their 6th child.
Is that part of the mission as well, to sort of have big families, to make the community bigger? Is there a sort of pressure there?
I don't feel particularly myself, I don't feel any pressure to like have a big family. I think there's a kind of expectation here that you do want to, as part of helping grow this thing, that you're going to have kids.
Okay, so here is what happened. Some white Americans decided they wanted to start a town where only white people could live. They said it was about preserving culture and living peacefully. But let's be real, we all know what that really means. We all know this. They wanted segregation, plain and simple.
No black, no gay, and no Jewish people. That is the rule in this white-only town being built in Arkansas. Nope, this isn't 1950. It's happening right now in 2025 in the Ozarks. A group called Return to the Land has built what they proudly call a whites-only community on 160 acres in the Ozarks. They've got cabins, roads, fences, wells, community center, and even a private schoolhouse, all for people who pass their strict racial and cultural tests. To live there, you must be white with European ancestry, straight, Christian, and you cannot be black, Jewish, LGBTQ, or follow a non-European religion. They vet applicants with video interviews, and some are even asked to prove their ancestry. The founders, Eric Orwell and Peter Sears, say that they want to create a, quote, fortress for the white race. In their own words, you want a white nation, build a white town. Now, here's the thing. They're calling it a private membership association to dodge federal housing laws. Basically, they sell membership shares through a company called Wisdom Woods LLC. And rather than traditional deeds, which they claim makes them exempt from anti-discrimination laws like the Fair Housing Act. And shockingly, well, maybe not, there's already 40 people living on the site and hundreds more worldwide are applying. They say they have things like goat herding, homeschool programs, flute recitals, and even a white baby bounty, basically rewarding white females for having more children. And I saw one of their interviews, and even their dog is white. Then get this, they're not stopping in Arkansas. They've already announced plans to expand into Missouri near Springfield. Now, civil rights groups like the NAACP and Anti-Defamation League and state officials are calling it what it is, a modern-day experiment in segregation, racism, and legal loopholes. Arkansas's Attorney General is investigating, but as of right now, this community is still operating, still growing, and still recruiting. This isn't just a hate group in the woods, you guys. It's a test case to see if they can build a future where civil rights laws don't apply, as long as they call it private. This is insane.
Did Missouri just travel back to the 1950s? Well, this is Trump's America, so probably. According to new reports, a whites-only community could be coming to Missouri, with one already established in Arkansas. A man by the name of John Wesley Norton is trying to build what he calls a conservative, Christian, whites-only community outside of Springfield, Missouri. He says this community is for like-minded people. Let's be real, that means racists and segregation. This is in no way about values, this is about exclusion. It's about resurrecting white supremacy under the guise of freedom of association. And Missouri officials, they're silent, as you'd expect. They say nothing illegal is going on and it's private land. Since when did racism need a permit? If you're more upset about people protesting over the human rights violations of immigrants right now than you are about the resurrection of Jim Crow, then you're the problem. This isn't just a Missouri issue, this is a warning. Racism is alive and well, and it's buying land and building fences.
But here is where it gets crazy. The backlash didn't come from black people. Most black folks were just like, oh, you all go ahead, we'll be over here minding our business with snacks. It was white people who started going off, calling this idea racist, backwards, and embarrassing. Some were like, you are making us look bad. Others were like, this is exactly what white supremacy looks like. Wow. So now you got white folks fighting other white folks, arguing, exposing each other, dragging this white-only idea over social media. You know what this really shows? White people are not monolith. Yes, they are not. Just like black folks are not all the same, white folks have their own divisions, and this situation is making that very clear. I'm telling you, this situation is making that very clear. Some of them are tired of racism, tired of the lies, tired of being lumped in with hateful people. And what's funny, the same folks who wanted this all-white town are now crying about being cancelled by their own. This is so crazy. Like, sir, you all did this to yourselves. Also, let's not ignore the hypocrisy. These are the same people who say stuff like, why do black people need safe spaces? Or why do you always talk about race? But here they are trying to build a space where only they can exist. Make it make sense. This whole thing is messy, but it's also eye-opening. It shows that even within the white community, people are waking up. Not everyone is okay with hate. And sometimes the best thing we can do is sit back, see poverty, and let them handle their own mess. Yeah, this is all I think. So what do you all think? Is this white-only town just ridiculous? Are we surprised they are turning on each other? Are we surprised? Just let me know in the comments. Yeah, drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading everything, just everything. And if you are new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the love and support. Catch you next time. Peace and love.